Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CFL Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. Now, you notice that Jake isn't with here. Jake is not with me here today, so I'm going to be doing this one solo. However, as discussed in the previous video where we were talking about the negotiations between the CFL and the CFLPA, it appears that now they have reached an agreement. I know it happened a few days ago. I've been busy with a whole lot of stuff. However, we needed to get this out here, so I read through the entirety of this. I think it's a CNBC article on it, as well as a few other spots, and I'm just going to kind of cover just the main kind of topics because it appears that the CFL and the CFLPA were not that far on their negotiations. However, it appears that the players are getting some stuff, but not as much as I think they really need to really kind of get the ball rolling on the changes the CFL needs to make. There are wider issues that are kind of ignored here. So this is a temporary fix, and it gets the season underway, which is good. But I really think the CFL, and they actually kind of discuss it here, needs to make some more broad changes. Otherwise, we could see some issues. So I'm just going to go through this. So it says, one of the sources added the agreement can be open for renegotiation once the league signs a new broadcast deal. So the CFL's agreement with TSN reportedly expires in 5 years. So 2027, this agreement for the CFL between them and TSN is done. CFL, sorry, they need to get this re-signed because they cannot afford to lose TSN as their main broadcaster, because the CFL struggles enough with getting interest to follow their broadcasting, and TSN in terms of Canada is the biggest broadcaster in Canada for sports. They absolutely cannot afford to have the TSN lose interest in terms of broadcasting CFL games. So I think the CFL really needs to, in these 5 years, prove to TSN that they can market this league the way they can, so that, you know, a deal with TSN will be worth it, and, you know, be worth it to the CFL as well, because I think the league dies without it. Seriously, I think it's that severe, and yeah, that's mainly kind of the broadcasty aspect of it, because this agreement is temporary. It works, but like I said, I think there's broader issues that are ignored here, because if we kind of read down here, however, the source added the agreement gives the CFLPA a share of all revenues and also includes minimum salary cap increases annually. As well, veteran players will have the ability to negotiate guaranteed contracts, something the CFL had initially turned down early in the negotiation. So yeah, like I said, it sounds like veteran players, they're going to be kind of, to kind of deal with almost the team jumping that's been going around for these past few years with these really, really short-term deals. It feels like they're going to be kind of a way of getting around that by encouraging players to stay with their teams. Just because all the constant jumping around, it's not healthy. And I actually think this is quite a good thing. Increasing the benefits of those players who stick with their clubs, who becomes veterans with their clubs. That's quite a good thing, because getting new fans in the league, you have to have players on clubs that you can identify with, these are the star players of this team. And it's kind of cool seeing players jump around, but it's happening too much where new fans are just getting confused. And I mean, I'm not even that new a fan, but with everything that's been happening, there are players where I'll be like looking at, like, I'll be going through social media, I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot they got traded, or I forgot they signed with this team. And so you kind of, for more the casual viewers, you're going to really confuse them if you're going to have all these players jumping around too much. So I think it's really important and key that you have teams with identifiable, recognizable players that they can market with. If you bring in a bunch of guys and then have them leave the next year, you can't market with that. You need guys that are going to be with teams for years and years and years that you can market as that. This is the star of this team, and this is the guy that this team is built around. And so I think this is generally a good thing. However, the minimum salary cap increases is unfortunate, but I hope that in a few years' time we can really bump that up, because I think that needs to be bumped up. Teams now will start 8 Canadians but one will be a naturalized Canadian, an American with at least 5 years of CFL experience or 3 with the same team. There were reports there will be 12 padded practices for teams this year, but players will also receive more long-term health coverage, 5 years by the 3rd year of the contract in return. This was a big issue by the CFLPA that they wanted to get fixed in this negotiations. It doesn't appear they fully fixed it. However, it appears that they've improved the situation, is that there is not proper health coverage in the CFL for their players. And for a sport, especially like football, where injuries are so common and very dangerous, it's really important that there is that health coverage for the players that are here, especially if you want to make this league appealing as opposed to the now alternatives that these players can be going to. Having more padded practices, like 12, is good. Not too much, but it's a good number, I think. And I think if you're going to increase that, you have to increase the health coverage. So it's good that they've done that as well. In terms of the Canadians versus non-Canadians, I honestly don't think that matters as much as people think it does. I think they should pretty much stick with what they have and not mess around with it too much. Don't decrease it too much, because you want to keep Canadian talent playing in front of a Canadian audience. But I think the most important thing is really just marketing the players at all, because it's like, you have to be able to market players before you can start marketing specific traits about them. You have to be able to say, this guy's good at football, before you can say he's a good hometown guy, good at football. Because, like, I'll put it this way. Andrew Harris in Winnipeg was a big one. We were able to market this guy as the Winnipeg, the hometown boy. He was great. However, he had to be great first before it mattered as much. I mean, now I feel like you're now going to start to see that with Oliveira. But when he first came in, the question before was, is he from Winnipeg? Was, is he good? And, once we found out he was good, it was more interesting that he was from here. So I feel like the main thing is going to really just be marketing. This is where now, with the TSN agreement expiring in 5 years and what's going to be going on with those renegotiations there, the CFL has 5 years. That is their window to figure out this marketing, get it where it needs to be. And yeah, I think we'll all just have to see where this goes. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on the new agreement that has been signed. I want to know how excited you are to see some preseason football starting May 27th. And yeah, so guys, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye.